Hi everybody, I'm Nikki and I'm going to show you how to play the classic bossa nova tune, Girl from Ipanema. First, if you're not familiar with jazz chords, let's do a little crash course. There are 4 shapes or 4 kinds of jazz chords, or they call it color chords. They're usually, not your basic major or minor. They have a 7th or a 9th added to them. So the first ones, we're going to major 7th chords. And the first one is going to have the root on the E string. And so the shape looks like this. You have your index finger at the 1st fret of the 1st string. Right now I'm actually doing a F major 7th chord, root on the bottom E string. So my index finger's at the 1st fret of the bottom E string. That's my F. And then I skip the A string. I kind of mute it with my index finger so it doesn't sound. Then I have my ring finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, pinky on the 2nd fret of the G string, and my middle finger on the 1st fret of the B string. I don't play the high E string either. I mute it with my index finger. My hand is kind of laying against it. So this is your major 7th shape. This is movable. So if you know the names of the notes on the bottom E string and the A string, then you can move this chord around. Okay, the other major 7th shape has the root on the A string. Let's check out what that one looks like, and I'll do it a C. C major 7. Sounds like this. You're going to have your index finger at the 3rd fret of the A string. That's your root. So it's always your index finger is always on the root. Then place your ring finger at the 5th fret of the D string, middle finger on the 4th fret of the G string, and your pinky at the 5th fret of the B string. So I'm not playing the low or high E strings at this time. And also, I don't have a pick. So for bossa nova, you want to use your hands. So your right hand. So that's the other major 7th chord shape. That's also movable. So if you know your A string notes, then you'll be fine. Okay, minor 7th chords. Here is a typical minor 7th shape with a root on the bottom E string. I'm going to do it in G. It sounds like this. And my index finger is holding down the root, the G, at the 3rd fret of the E string. I don't play the A string. I kind of mute it. Then I lay my middle finger, ring finger, and pinky down at the 3rd frets of the D, G, and B strings. And I don't play the high E string. So that's minor 7th with the root on the E string. To do a minor 7th with a root on the A string, the shape looks a little different. I'm going to move it over. I'm going to do a C minor 7. This time, I've got my index finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. That's my root. That's C. I skip the D string, put my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the G string, my pinky at the 4th fret of the B string, and my ring finger at the 3rd fret of the high E string. So there you have that one. You don't want to play the bottom E string or the D string. Okay. Other group of chords. Then we have dominant 7th chords. And I'm going over these chords, so then it's going to be much easier for you to play the song. So this is for you who are not familiar with these, chord shapes. So dominant 7th with a root on the E string, I'm going to do a G7. So it actually looks very similar to a minor 7th chord with a root on the A string. But if you just jump to the, bottom pair of strings, you get this shape. So index finger holds the root down at the 3rd fret of the E string. Skip the A string. Middle finger's on the 3rd fret of the D string. Pinky's at the 4th fret of the G string. And ring finger finally is at the 3rd fret of the B string. And I don't play the high E string either. So that's dominant 7th chord. Then a dominant 7th chord with a root on the A string is really easy. Think of it as if you played a regular C chord, like this. But, and this time I'm going to do a C7. So I'm actually playing a C chord. My root is the ring finger, which is at the 3rd fret. That's my C. Then the only thing I need to add to make it a 7 chord is add my pinky to the G string's 3rd fret. And there you go. There's your C7th chord. I don't play any of the E strings for this. Okay, there's one last chord that we want to get in for this, and that's a 9th chord. I'm going to do a 9th chord that has the root on the A string. And it looks like this. And you basically, your middle finger is holding down the root. I'm doing a C9. So I've got my middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, and then my index finger's at the 2nd fret of the D string, and then my ring finger and pinky are at the 3rd frets of the G and B strings. You don't play the E strings. So there you go. That's our chords. The rhythm, bossa nova rhythm, can be a little tricky if you're not used to syncopated rhythms. It's very syncopated. The strum, so to speak, or the rhythm, I should say, is going to be over 8 beats. And I can say that the 1st and 2nd and 8th beat, you're going to play right on the beat. So it's going to sound like this. Ba, 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 ba. So da, 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 ba. So I hit da, da. That's my beats 1 and 2. And then it's syncopated. Ba, 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 ba. On the 8th beat, you're on the beat. Okay, now let's play Girl from Ipanema. So first chords, F major 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go to G7, and then G minor 7, and then G flat 7, F major 7, and then G7, G flat 7, excuse me. That's the first verse. So let me do another verse so you get the hang of the chords again. So. Okay, so we did 2 verses. Then you're going to get to the other part, the "Oh, but I watch her so sadly," the B section of the song. So here you're going to play a G flat major 7, to C flat 9, F sharp minor 7, to D9, G minor 7, to E flat 9, and then A minor 7, D7, G minor 7, and then you're back into the A section. Sorry, F major 7, excuse me. So a lot of times in Jobim's songs, there's this, we kind of play a, major 7, F major 7, and then you go up a half step, and back, and you kind of back and forth. And this is the part where she doesn't see, she just doesn't see. So, da 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 da, da 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 da. So a quick review of, the frets where I was. So F major 7 was root on the bottom E string, 1st fret. G7, root on the bottom E string, 3rd fret. Same with G minor 7. Then G flat 7 has the root on the 2nd fret of the bottom E string. And then you go back. F major 7, G flat 7, another verse, same thing. Then the B part, G flat major 7, root on the bottom E string, 2nd fret. And the C flat 9, root on the A string, 2nd fret. F sharp minor 7, root on the 2nd fret of the bottom E string. And then D9, A string, 5th fret is your root. G minor 7, root at the E string, 3rd fret. And then E flat 9, root on the A string, 6th fret. A minor 7, root at the 5th fret of the bottom E string. And then D7, root at the 5th fret of the A string. And then you do the same shapes, but in G minor and C7, 3rd fret. And back to the verses. And then, like I said, the ending, F major 7 to G flat 7, going back and forth, and then you finish the song on F major 7. So that's it. Have fun with these jazz chord shapes. Thing is that once you know how to play them, you not only will know how to play a lot of bossa nova tunes, you'll know R&B tunes, jazz tunes. Stevie Wonder songs are full of these. Bill Withers. I mean, there's so much cool stuff that you can play with them. That's basically it. So if you want to like learn any other of these kind of Latin, Brazilian bossa tunes, send me a request. Just shoot me a comment as response to this video, and I'll post some more songs if you're interested. I'm Nikki, and if you want to check out my music, which is not bossa nova, it's more soul and R&B and funk influenced rock, you can check it out at nikkioneilband.com. Until then, see you next time. Bye-bye.